Yeah, so this video went down well. I mean, PlayStation VR has literally one of the highest attachment rates of any system for a reason. People who try it love it. That's not because they are stupid, it's because it is great. I really hope you give it a chance with some quality titles. What a terrible video. You judged the entirety of PlayStation VR's library based off videos. You cannot do this with VR. Hell, even Iron Man VR is getting positive previews all around. Astrobot, Moss, Wipeout, Beat Saber, Tetris Effect, Firewall 0 Hour, all amazing games, all highly rated and all came out in 2018. That's pretty decent support for a platform that developers are still learning about, and that sizzle reel you showed is meant to be indie. They showed off some of the bigger games separately and they all look promising. Also, why the heck did you think people would be living in VR with Gen 1 hardware? In Gen 4? Sure, but this is still early days. When you get your hands on Astrobot, Beat Saber, Resident Evil 7, Wipeout, chances are you'll be blown away, just as most people are that try it. The naysayers are almost always people who haven't tried it, disliked. You obviously were not around when gaming was born. Just think where we would be if everybody felt the same about Atari, or how about the first Nintendo? Don't you realise every platform has to start somewhere? People with a one-track mind like you are the reason platforms fail. Don't be an idiot. If you are a gamer, you wouldn't be so one-sided. Totally disagree. Sony has supported PlayStation VR more than anyone. Well, I should hope they would support their own product. And outsells every other VR platform. They continue to support it well, and it sold quite well for a high-end add-on. Just like your clickbait video title is a gimmick, your lack of owning one gives you no room to speak. I will admit that I do think the lineup is rather weak. There are other titles that make it well worth it. I can't wait for this summer when they release No Man's Sky, and that happens to be a AAA title. You talking nonsense, because even though the technology is not perfect, it's still way better than sitting in front of a flat screen with a pair of 3D glasses on. Firewall, Tetris Effect, Astrobot, Beat Saber, Superhot VR, etc. all prove you wrong. I have a PS4 and I only buy VR games. I can't do the flat, boring, same old anymore. More AAA titles will come with the growth of VR like anything else. I love all the smaller titles currently because they are cheaper than normal games. You get a unique experience out of them if you do a little research and pick the right ones. And you can finish the damn game before you are bored to death with it. A problem I have with flat games. Made it halfway through RD2, I presume he means Red Dead Redemption 2, and went back entirely to PlayStation VR. Will try Sekiro with Gamefly, but I'm betting same thing will happen. So, you ignored Borderlands 2 VR, Resident Evil 7, Skyrim VR, Doom VFR, Wipeout VR, Gran Turismo Sport, Dirt Rally VR, and soon to come, No Man's Sky VR. Plus, you can play PC VR games with PSVR, and PSVR is the least expensive option in VR, while other headsets will cost you upwards of over $1,000 to even play one game. Sorry buddy, it's not just the fanboy collected that will shun this video, crying with laughter emoji. Terrible view of the VR system, let me tell you. I've been a gamer since day the 80s, and VR gaming saved me from giving up playing the same games time and time again with different graphics. Just a side note, I actually agree with that. Had one for close to a year now, and I find it hard to play flat screen games. Try Farpoint with aim control and tell me any flat screen shooter fails by comparison. No. Long story short, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, but when I think about something and get what I believe to be a solid and logical outlook on a subject, then I tend to switch the microphone on and then share that opinion with the world. And this video, yes, this video is the first time where I have received proper backlash from you lot. I mean, you all hate my guts because of this video. Now, my whole argument was that I think the PlayStation VR has a weak and underwhelming game library. Now, I came to that conclusion simply because I have yet to see or experience a game that has made me part with my money and buy a PlayStation VR. Therefore, I came to the conclusion that the VR appears to be a gimmick and a disappointment at this current time, considering it's been out for 3 years. Well, how wrong was I? Because literally every single one of you that owns the PlayStation VR called me a moron and said you couldn't be happier with the game lineup and device itself. And who am I to argue with full-time owners of the product? And that was my mistake. I tried to push my opinion on a product that I don't own and tried to push that opinion to an audience who do own the product and have a bigger and more developed knowledge than myself on it. Now, I will say I was quite surprised by all the praise and support that the VR got from several of you. I mean, I honestly wasn't expecting. I was fully expecting loads of people to watch that video and be like, yeah, I feel like a silly Billy for buying one now, or Waterfields 1, you are spot on. I was duped by the marketing and fully regret my purchase. But nope, everyone seems pretty happy with it and offended that I used the term gimmick, which I take back at this stage, especially now that Sony have confirmed that the VR will be supported by the PlayStation 5. So more for me on this one, I guess. Now, what I will say is I refuse to accept any defense for the PlayStation Move and PlayStation EyeToy. They were gimmicks. They were fun initially, but support died off pretty quickly for both of those units. So all that I can say at this stage is that PlayStation VR owners and fans, I am sorry. The VR is not a gimmick, and the lineup is not as weak as I perceive it to be. Now, fingers crossed the big hitters do make the expected impact. Here's looking at you, Blood and Truth and Iron Man VR. Hopefully Sony keeps their word and supports the tech for the long-term future, which does seem to be the case. They've released a statement saying it will be compatible on PlayStation 5 and will be supported on PlayStation 5, which is great. So, yeah, there you go. I feel like I've groveled for far too long on this video. I admit defeat, people. I admit I was wrong. You win. Anyway, thank you for watching. It's just a reply video. Some of the comments were great on that video, so thank you so much for getting involved, commenting, and telling me I was wrong, because sometimes you do need to be put in your place, so thank you for doing that. As always, like the video because I've manned up and apologised. Comment anything you want to say about the PlayStation VR below. Subscribe if you're new. If you're new watching this, then you should probably check out the original video. There'll be a link in the description and also at the end of this video. I am Waterfields 1, and I may well be buying a PlayStation VR in the very near future because of this. But apart from that, enjoy your week, enjoy your gaming. See you later.